Now, Greg Solier's final look at the agriculture weather forecast for the week ahead, including his precipitation forecast. Brought to you by Kixor Herbicide from BASF.
My great-grandfather worked this land with mules. Now we use things like GPS. How we do this is always changing. Wonder what kinds of things my grandchildren will be using.
Kixor Herbicide Technology, the innovative solution for broadleaf weed control. For growers from BASF, the chemical company.
It's been an interesting effect of the dry weather this fall. There have been more water main breaks in the St. Louis area. They say the dry weather contracts, the soil contracts, pulls away from the pipe will sag, and it will break. And they said in the month of October, Greg, in the St. Louis area, they've had as many water main breaks as at any time in the past 40 years.
Interesting. We'll see what happens when we get the moisture in the ground and then freeze it up. If there'll be some expansion there. So that issue could be playing out there and over a wide area of the Midwest and some of those metro areas. So an active weather pattern and taking on more or less an early winter-like feel, almost the dead of winter across parts of the Big Sky, the Dakota Territory. Another shot at probably some double-digit readings below zero. We're quiet across the eastern part of the country. Windy weather and dampness back into play. Watch it, livestock managers, and sloppy footing with rain and snow for Wisconsin. Some shower activity for Iowa, and thunderstorms heavy into severe for parts of the Delta region. Another push of cool weather into the southwestern states. Bitter cold for areas of Montana, and the first of a couple of systems beginning to come ashore into the Pacific Northwest. That'll drag some rain and snow and fairly low snow levels into Big Sky, Washington State, and Oregon. We're quiet across the southwestern states. These systems begin to move on through fairly quickly. Clipper-like features, and cold all the way down at least to the Mason-Dixon line. Some short-term dry time for the Delta with snow shower activity basically downwind of the Great Lakes region, and probably some accumulation still over the southern Canadian prairie. The heart of this cold, the main mother load, begins to drop southward into the Dakotas, the northern and central plains, the end part of the week, expanding both to the west and ultimately setting up over the eastern half of the country as we move on through the middle and late parts of December. But cold across the areas of the Board of Trade, the Central Corn Belt. Look at the moisture up and down the eastern seaboard, including the Delta, Tennessee Valley, and lake snows continue on as well.
But not much moisture?
Probably good coverages, would think, as you venture south and east. This is the way it plays out. Here's the average rain snow line, so there's some propensity for accumulations. Wisconsin back into the northern and central plains as the week wears on. Some good to general coverages across the Ohio Valley, southeastern states as well, mid-Atlantic region. These dry areas continue to shrink. Amounts of 1 to 2, locally up to 3 inches, fraught with severe weather prospects. Some 1 to 2 inch amounts, liquefied, of course, into the Pacific Northwest. Weather's brought to you by Kixor Herbicide from BASF.
Glyphosate used to do the trick, but weeds are getting tougher. Sometimes it's like they're laughing behind my back. Well, they're not the only ones who can get tougher.
Kixor Herbicide Technology controls resistant broadleaf weeds. For growers from BASF, the chemical company.